I'm going to start the recording. Ah, yes.
I picked a very appropriate 8th level spell.
I thought
So,
that if you move the dice in the chat.
as all of you come to the next day, having managed to save the gold chocobo from La Habrea, gain some interesting insights from Olnalder, as well as the Seed Seer and Fumiri. You've learned quite a bit about the towers that have begun showing up that you saw when you first began your journey, and you've learned, at the very least, that La Habrea, for some reason, wanted to find and obtain a gold chocobo, and at the very least has been at it for a number of years, number of decades rather. In defeating him, you managed to avoid a confrontation with Olnalder, and managed to find Quinn as well as Shuiai and bring them back both reunited, and it feels very good. As you come to the next day, waking in the farmhouse of Astaria's childhood, one by one, each of you coming down to a rather well-cooked breakfast today. You notice that it was not Shuiai that cooked, as she is not in the house. In fact, it was Quinn. You come down to what appears to be a mixture of eggs, bacon, a few geishel greens thrown in here and there to kind of act as like a lettuce, so to say, as well as a couple other food stuffs, but a significantly better looking meal than the one that Shuiai had made the other day, and significantly better tasting as well. But as you all come down and reconvene in the dining room of the house, the day is yours.
Morning.
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 Star's probably already been down there and eaten. Early bird. Bro.
After yesterday, I think Adwin probably would have slept in a little bit.
No blame her.
Having to deal with Arnalder is fucking exhausting.
Rox comes down a little after everyone, and as she says, "Good morning, everyone," leans on someone, Star or Adwin, and her ears flop down over whoever's face. I don't know who's closest to the stairwell.
I don't know.
Probably Adwin.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Aw.
Okay, you have bunny
No,
ears
I
in
want you
your
to flap
face.
on me. Ooh. Star will just laugh. Continue eating.
Probably just.
Is there coffee?
Oh yes, and tea, and milk, and chocolate milk, and chocobo milk, if that's what you prefer.
You can
A
drink
chocobo
chocobo milk.
You can milk a
Of
chocobo?
course you can.
It's a tricky process, but yes.
Dogger's
Adwin's
face
just
checks as he was
like,
drinking some milk.
I'm gonna stick with coffee.
You're missing out.
I still want a coffee, but
I can put some of the
Try-
chocobo milk in as creamer.
no.
Adwin just kind of scoots her cup closer to her and covers it with her hand. No, thank you.
I prefer my coffee untainted, thank you, but I would like to try the chocobo milk on its own, out of morbid curiosity.
Oh,
She's
very
saying
well,
she
very
likes
well.
prefers her
Rude.
coffee
Tainted?
untainted. Aidwin's dumping in a thing of creamer. She's like, what is that supposed to mean?
Coffee
It's
is
not that bad.
perfect. Coffee is perfect on its own.
But you don't need to say tainted. It's rude.
Oh, it's okay.
I
He can
just love
think.
myself and don't want to drink black coffee.
She can think it's tainted if she wants. Quinn says as he pours it and hands you up the cup of black coffee. After all, everyone has their opinions. Some are just wrong.
I'll get a cup of choco milk, Papa.
All right, she gets you both a, or he gets you both a cup of chocolate not chocolate of choco milk.
Choco milk.
Chocolate flavoring could be added if you wish. Um, but drinking it,
Does that make it choco milk?
Yes.
um, but in drinking it, it's a little thick. It's kind of like a milkshake almost in texture, but not
Biscuits.
quite as sweet. It's a little more bitter than it, but it's not too bad.
It grows on you.
Interesting.
It kind of pulls it away, and you can all see like this very thick, just like line of the choco milk, just right above her lips.
Uh, you got a little, here.
Y-
Star will
y-
just grab a napkin and, like, dab off the mustache for her.
Yeah, you saw she was already like twitching her nose because she felt the milk. Oh, thank you.
No
That
problem.
Oh, I guess I should have warned you. It's a little thicker than most milks.
Mm-hmm.
Old goat milk is probably the closest in similarity for texture, but pretty good, yeah.
it is quite interesting. I'm not used to drinking milk in the mornings, if I'm being honest.
Squeezed that out of them myself this morning.
I
Fetch.
If it's that fresh, I mean, I'll try a little bit, I guess.
It's good for the soul. Pours you a cup and
Good
hands it up.
for the soul, good for the heart.
And she'll drink a little bit. She'll be like, "Oh, this is interesting. Mm. Mm, it's not bad. It's not as bad as I thought it would be."
That right there will put some hair on your chest, unless you're a woman, in which case it won't. But
I certainly hope it won't.
you put that in your coffee. It'll make the coffee taste real good.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I already. She looks at her already very much lighter cup of coffee. I already.
You
Oh,
watch
well.
as he grabs another cup, pours more coffee in it, and just sets it right next to that one. For when you're finished with the first one.
Ha!
I guess.
Star will just happily enjoy her cup of milk.
Oh yeah, then she has to get 3 plates of breakfast.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's one thing that all of you have noticed is Adwin's been eating a lot recently, like way more than anyone else.
Star's not judging.
Well,
Oh, good.
I'll leave you kids to it. I'm gonna go check on Shuey Eye. She's been a little quiet out there in the what is that damn big red building called? A barn. That's right. Yeah. I'm just wanders off, just kind
Someone's
of like
tired.
waving his hands a little bit, just muttering to himself. Just, oh my, I can't believe I'm grumble, grumble. Old man grumbles.
Mm.
So, how is everyone feeling these last few days Kind of been a lot.
Shaken.
Yeah, can't blame you. Anyone?
I'm sorry, what was that? I didn't quite hear you.
The ogre's just sort of asking how's just everyone feeling since these last few days have been a lot.
Well, definitely don't. Definitely feel a little. Mm, just kind of thinking about what Fumi said to me about the primal thing.
Well, that's fair. You're still you.
How?
At least. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna agree with you.
Well, it's as Quinn said. Everyone is entitled to their opinions. Some opinions are just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
How did dealing with Arnold or Monroe go?
He was okay. He was little. Well, you know, he's him, and definitely didn't let him put me into any sort of thing that I would regret doing on my own.
You promise?
Like him, she like holds her, she like puts her hand on her heart. Yes,
Cross your heart and hope to fly.
if I could, I would.
Star will nod, pleased.
Don't you have the spell fly?
I do not.
Oh. What about levitate?
I could get it, but I don't have it.
Oh.
You know, I wonder if
Mostly
I keep
because
up
I'm
to,
an idiot and don't know how to do it.
I wonder if I ferry people up to the top of the trees of the forest, can we just save ourselves a lot of trouble and just find this central hole or whatever that thing was? By walking on top of the trees. Oh well, odd idea I have.
Mm.
So, what are we doing? What do we want to do now that we kind of have a pretty clear schedule now?
I don't
Do we
know.
want to start building our ship? Or at least get the staff and the supplies to start building the ship?
That's probably a good idea.
Maybe
But
we
where
could
are
get
we going to build it?
Yeah, that's the question.
Preferably at a shipyard, and we contract them to build it.
Where are the shipyards?
Great question.
Make a history check. For those that wish.
Yeah, I'll do one.
No.
Okay.
History
Kryn,
checkers.
you know quite a bit about building things, and the best place to build a ship, being a shipyard, probably somewhere where you don't really have to worry about water, or worry about land getting in the way of the final product. And consequently, as a result, Limsa is probably the best place to get to contract for a ship to be built, or at least the best place to have it built. You also know this, Adwin. Having grown up in Limsa, that's probably like the single best possible spot you could go to try and find people to be able to build you a ship. Additionally, you both know that you could contract people from outside of Limsa to build the ship, and then they would obviously travel for the work and everything. Some might ask for like compensation for the trip, and some might not. You're not entirely sure. It kind of depends on who you ask and what sort of routes you go. Um, there are probably at least a couple of shipwrights. Bleh. There's at least one or two shipwright buildings in Limsa, at the very least, shipwright guilds rather, and places like Gridania is where the main carpenters guild is. If you're wanting to have the ship built out of wood, which is the base element for the hull, Limsa might be a good place to start as far as trying to find people that can work with wood. Um, there are probably technical details that you would have to work out in order to get them to Limsa, or if you wanted to build it here. Um, it all kind of depends. But Limsa is probably the best place to have it built, and Gridania is probably the best place to get supplies for a wooden ship.
Well, if we go to Limsa and contract them to build it, can they go and purchase the supplies themselves as part of the contract?
That's generally so. For the contract price, generally speaking, supplies and material costs are already added in. So the cost that the contract is assumes that they were going to have to go and buy the materials. So that's essentially that's not something that you really have to worry about. It's already baked into the contracts.
Easy enough then.
And since you have a blueprint, they don't have to guess at how much material they have. So it wouldn't be an estimate as to the price either. It would be a set amount. Also, for everyone else to know, so what I'm doing with this first ship is I'm having the actual cost of construction and materials and everything be a total of 70,000, with the cost of labor just being whatever you guys didn't spend in that 70,000. For future ships, that won't be the case. This was like a pseudo prototype kind of thing, see how it kind of works, and I'm fine with it working like this because it is a relatively inexpensive ship. Welcome back, MJ.
Thank you.
But yeah, just keep that in mind. So
I have to step away for a moment. I just realized I left a coffee maker running.
that good job. Speaking of coffee, right?
Hopefully nothing's on fire.
But
yeah. Speaking of, I need to get a fan going in here. I'm sweating.
Mm-hmm.
So then do we need to head to Limsa? I'm talking to the party, not to the GM.
Well, Limsa would be a pretty good place to do
Maybe.
it. And I did want to, and we did want to go, and I did want to go there anyways at some point.
I don't know if I express to you guys. I know to Rakshana, I did. When we were out looking around when my papa was missing, first kind of calls him.
The forest?
Oh.
Yeah, and it was doing this weird air coming out of it, the trees bending into it, kind of weird thingamabob.
Well, I guess the sooner we take care of the forest, then the farm would be safe. So
Mhm. Well,
I mean,
guess
that
we
would
don't.
probably be a good idea to take care of that sooner than later.
Agreed.
Yeah. We need to call Fumi. I didn't get to give them the crystal with La Habrea in
Ah.
it.
Good call.
That's. Yeah, we still have him, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plops her bag of holding on the table.
And I just hope how many times we've captured or nabbed him is just really pissing him off.
Yeah.
It makes
You have
me
no
worry
fucking
he'll do
idea.
something worse if he does get away.
That's honestly
If-
very likely.
Just
Mhm.
kind of keep pissing him off over and over.
Yeah.
I sure hope it does.
Oh, good. I'm not the
Fair.
only one thinking that.
Yeah.
What a dick.
Fair. Yeah.
All right. I'm all for going to check out this forest, especially just with everything that's going on connected to it. Star.
I'd like to call Fumi to see when we can meet up.
Agreed.
But yes.
Is there anything new in your storybook?
Great question, actually. And she'll just kind of like pull her bag up into her lap, her larger backpack, obviously, and pull out the book and plop it on the table.
As you reach into the bag and your hand grasps the book, for all of you, this all happened. Her reaction is it all happens in an instant. All of you watch as she reaches in, grasps the book, and for a moment stops, and then there's a loud shrieking gasp that comes from her, and her hand she yanks her hand back. For you, Star, as your hand touches the book, you get this series of rapid fire images of and these feelings that come with it. This feeling of fear and dread and terror. And the flashes of images are trees whizzing by you. You don't know where you are, but you know you have to run. You have to run now. And it's only... You're not really sure how many images it is, but it feels like at least a minute or two passes as each of these images flashes through your head. And the very final one, well, the final like three, are your head turning up to the like star-filled canopy of the forest behind the house, and then that same strange long-armed creature dropping down, and then the final image is essentially its mouth just kind of swallowing you. And that's when your eyes jerk open and your hand pulls back and you let out this like shrieking gasp.
Oh no.
Delker just reaches over, puts his hand on her shoulder.
Mm,
You okay?
You like freaked out.
yeah. uh, images. Like that dream being chased through the forest by those creatures again.
Anything new?
Came from above. Not behind.
Yeah.
She'll still pull up the book carefully.
This time, as you grasp it, the images do not come like they did just a moment ago. So you lift the book out, you set it down, you flip it open, and as you begin flipping through the pages, there are a ton of new images. Each one, the vast majority of them just seem to be trees at different angles and perspectives, but just trees. And then as she's flipping through them, and you can see they're starting to connect to some of the other pictures that were already in here. But the last one, or the last couple, as you're flipping through them and looking at each one, you're brought back to some of the first images that appeared, that of the grove, of being chased towards it. And as you turn the page from the image of the grove and the small chocobo egg to the next.
Usually we always gotta kill the boss.
Oh,
Hello?
Hello?
Hey.
hello.
Okay, where did I cut off at?
The grove part, I think.
As
Okay.
as we turn past the page of the grove.
Okay, so it wasn't much. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool, I was so worried that, like, all of that got lost. But as you turn that page to the next one, the last three images are extremely familiar to you, Star. It's of the canopies in the forest, those black star-filled canopies. And then the page just on the other side of that one is the beast falling down from above. And as you turn it to the next one, you all in your heads hear this loud
Oh, jeez.
and you see on the page almost like it's being projected from the page, this small little white chocobo before that large creature just appears out of nowhere, drops down, and devours it. And then the image cuts out. And on the page, all you see is just like a black page with what is more than likely meant to represent blood streaking down the front of it.
Oh.
As you've looked at this now, it's not entirely filled. This is not the end of the book, although it is very close to it. You would guess that probably about 40 to 45% of the book has been filled at this point.
Delbert just wants
Wow.
to chat and hug Star.
That's awful.
Star just closes the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Star,
Hug?
group
Yes.
hug, yes. You might well need it as you close the book. Make a wisdom save for me.
Oh.
Fuck.
Yep.
I'm sure you'll do fine.
Our internet is having a minute.
It's okay.
No problem. You sound a little roboty bit, but it sounds like you're getting better. I just mean for like a split second.
24. As you close the book, for a moment your eyes close and there's a flash immediately as your eyes close of just that final moment and your eyes jerk back awake. But you remain calm. You keep your composure.
Alright. Okay, Star's just gonna lean back in her chair.
That will just rub her back.
No, thank you. No, thanks.
Okay, you'll throw the same away.
Are you okay, Star?
More or less.
Well, seems like we're gonna be encountering a lifelong foe of yours when we go in there then.
Oh, I really hadn't thought of it like that.
That probably makes it worse, I'm sorry.
But it's kind of cool, weird way. She'll tuck the book away for now.
Well, come what may.
Ugh.
We're all getting out of there.
Mm. Yeah,
Yep, we're getting in,
we
we're
are.
kicking its ass, and we're getting out.
Yep. Oh, we always get out. That's not the problem.
Alright, well, Bill, this time we're not gonna leave until it's dead.
Okay, let's go.
Alright. So you all.
Rox.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say Rox will step forward if nobody else does.
Let's move on.
Alright.
Mm.
So, you all gather your things together and make your way to the forest? Or do you make your way to the barn first? Because
We
Quinn
probably
and
should go to
Quinn
the barn.
there, supposedly. So it's up to you.
Go to the barn.
Okay.
Because we can also talk to the birds.
Yeah.
And get updates.
So going to the barn, as you enter. Say again.
Yeah,
All right.
barn.
Go as you go to the barn. Entering in, you do see Quinn and Shuyai, who are over next to two empty stalls talking. As you approach them, Star and Duggar, you would overhear just briefly. These stalls, although you don't catch whose stalls they are, the two chocobos that are supposed to be in them have not returned. Is what you catch before you approach, and they kind of both turn towards you.
Hey.
Well, hey, are you all heading out?
Well, for a little excursion for that forest.
Oh, I see. What for, if you don't mind?
We're gonna deal with the monsters once and for all.
Hmm?
Oh. Oh. All right then, I suppose.
You suppose you don't seem happy about that.
I worry about you going into that forest. That forest just gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Mm-hmm. don't we're not super thrilled about it either, but
Well, Take
Well,
care.
what was that? What was that about you were talking about before we came up?
Oh, a couple chocobos just didn't come back last night. It's nothing to worry about. It happens
Who
all the
didn't come
time.
back?
I don't actually remember who stalls
Oh,
these were.
you remember. You know all their names.
I,
By heart.
Are Moon and Merrick in there?
no. No. This was two of the ones that no, I don't actually know if it was the Seedser anymore that requisitioned them.
It wasn't.
Either way, they didn't come back with the rest of the chocobos last night, and I'm sure they'll be back. I'm not too worried about it. That's all. I'm
Thanks
more
for the
worried
st-
about you.
Thanks that the stalls or the chocobos, are they named in the stalls?
Uh, roll a perception check.
Okay.
What languages do you speak?
All of them.
Tongue of Sun and Moon.
I don't think that's for written language. I think that's just spoken.
You said spoken.
Right, but you're
Yeah.
looking for a sign.
Yes, but you said spoken. But yes, I can read Common and Ori.
I see. Oh, okay. Wow, it clicked now. What you meant? Okay. Yeah. So there are signs on it, but you cannot read it.
What are the empty stalls? What are the names on the empty stalls?
He tells you. The first one is Ace Beak, is what he says. He says the second one is the Big Bon Boy.
You think they went to the forest?
Although U-Star, having 360-degree vision at all times, you can read these words. They're Lalafell. And they read Moon and Merrick. But to answer your question, Adwin, Quinn shakes his head and says, I don't know. It's possible, but...
Sorry, I stepped off for a minute.
Oh.
What was possible?
Quinn gave us the wrong names of the chocobos. Moon and Merrick
Yes.
are missing.
Yes, he gave two
Fun.
fake names to
Yeah.
Delger when he tried to read the signs. However, you having 360-degree true sight, you can read both of them because both of the signs are Lalafell, and they read Moon and Merrick.
And at this time of the day, would the birds be in their stalls or outside?
Yeah, because it's still early day. Or like early morning. It's probably around like maybe 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning at the latest. And Quinn usually doesn't let them out until about midday or closer to midday, so about 11, 11:30. So they should still be in their stalls.
So where's Moon and Merrick?
I don't know. They're over in their stalls.
I'm gonna just look at Quinn and Quinn, after this whole thing with just
Okay, look, yes, neither of them
Oh,
came back last night.
Oh, I thought you were the one who left. Whoops.
Yeah.
No,
No, that was just Corinne.
That was Corinne. What Corinne was?
Okay, so I was gonna Okay, so I'm gonna actually finish what I was gonna say. Quinn, we all know that you're not the best
I'm
liar.
back.
After this whole ordeal with the lab, if you tell us they're in the forest, that we're already gonna go in, we're gonna find them anyways.
I don't
So just tell us the
know
truth.
if they are in the forest.
Oh,
I don't know if they're in there or if they're somewhere else. They didn't
Did
return last
you
night.
call?
Yes. That's
Do
why
you-
I'm so tired. I was up most of the night trying to get them to come in, but they just never responded.
do you know where they were seen around?
He shakes his head, and I only let them out
Have any of
inside
them said anything? To like gesture to the birds, knowing Quinn can talk to them.
He shakes his head. Nope. And they're all keeping their beaks shut tight.
Terrible. Dig into her bag of greens. The half used.
Gonna bribe them.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Hold on. Bells, give me half a second. I can tell. It's been a really like game top tier spell.
That wouldn't be the one you would want for the chocobos. That would be speak with animals.
No. Okay, I was just making sure actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do
Because
have that one.
Because chocobo isn't technically a language. So,
Rude.
Also, wait, where's Chisume?
technically still in Gridania.
What?
You guys ever went to pick her up?
Yeah, when y'all went to Amdapor Keep, I assumed you left her in Gridania to keep her away from all the danger. So she's just kind of been in there, waiting. Who knows?
She soon yet to me on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Okay.
But
Guys,
so you do have.
we need to
speak
go
with
pick the
animals, so-
baby up.
We have Isumiyan's link shell.
Nope.
Yeah.
You don't have the seats here either.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, you're right. Well,
Wait, am I experiencing some sort of Mandela effect type shit? Where does Amdapor Keep come into this?
That's where you went to fight the mistress.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
actually, wait,
You went there.
we haven't.
We
We
had.
didn't leave Chisume there since that.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
been
we
a
came
lot
back.
longer.
You haven't been back
Yeah.
to Gridania to pick her up. So, well,
We were with.
You-
she was
We
with
You're
us.
left
went
her
back-
there.
you went
We
back.
left her there when we came here from that thing with Isumiyan.
When you came,
We've had her since Amdapor Keep. We
Yeah,
have.
we left. The last I saw her, I took. Remember, I took her around on this around town on my shoulders while we were trying. While they were while they talked to the seats here, trying to cure the soldiers. Or something.
Yeah, and I know we did talk to. Since Amdapor Keep, I know we'd been back to Ul'dah to heal Raubon, and
Which
we know
we
that
had
she
Chisume
hung out
for.
with. Yeah, she was there because we remember she got her and frickin' Momo got were chilling, having a good time, and then
when you
then we
went
brought her
back
to Gridania.
when you went
Yeah.
back to Gridania,
Yeah,
you were talking to the seats here about everything, and then you took off to
Right.
go back to the lab.
yeah,
Chisume
No, I don't-
wasn't down there with you.
yeah.
Yes,
No, so
but where does
I don't
Amdapor
argue.
Keep come into this?
No, yeah, no, I
No,
don't.
I'm
I don't.
saying
I don't disargue.
Since
I'm not.
Amdapor Keep, when you went to Amdapor Keep, you left her in Gridania, okay?
That's,
Then you came. Let me finish. Then you came back. You had that whole series of events where you had her with you. Then you went
Yeah.
back to Gridania. And then you went to the lab. Since
Yeah.
you did not state that you were bringing her with you to your excursion specifically to the lab, I assumed you kept her still in Gridania with the
Yeah.
same thing that you did last time when you went to Amdor Keep. That's why I brought
Yeah.
it up.
Okay.
They,
That's what I was.
she was
You
at
weren't
Amberport
clear
Keep.
about
That was where
that.
she ate the void scent.
Yeah, she was there.
You're right. Either way, my point is,
Yeah, no, I
she's in
don't.
Gridania.
I don't disagree that she's not in Gridania.
Yeah.
It just made it sound like that she had been there
I might have,
since
yeah,
Amdaport Keep.
Yeah.
I
that's
might
what,
be forgetting a few details, but she's in Gridania.
Yeah, no, she's there.
So-
That's fine.
Yeah.
correct. Yeah, I was just confused because you were mentioning Amdaport Keep. And
Yeah,
it
I was.
entirely
Work's been a bitch. I'm getting days and shit, all sorts of mixed up.
No problem. No.
I do apologize. But yes, so but yes, right now she is in Gridania, presumably with Isumiya,
Okay, that's fine.
unless she snuck away from him, which is entirely possible.
Well, okay, well,
Who knows? But yeah. Okay. Got that.
Oh,
cleared
then do
up.
we need to go back and get her?
I think we probably should. I know
I
that
would-
the forest is dangerous, but being away from Chisume for a long time is probably not a good idea.
What were you saying? What were you trying to say, Mar? Cut out.
I would like to get my child, please.
Yeah,
Let's go get your child.
All right.
some of us
Monster
can
Monster
take care of
eating
the
stay
or
behind
not.
and we don't know if they'll all go. I don't think.
Quick teleportation circle away.
Yeah.
Well, I say quick. It's like an 11-minute casting time.
Yeah.
If you ritual cast it. If you're
That's
prepared, you can just cast it at a minute. Either way, you'd be able to ritual cast it regardless. So, yeah. So making a very quick jaunt over before your attempt to persuade the burbs back to Gridania. It's easy enough to find the Conjurer's Guild where Brother Isumiyan is.
Should also check on him and see how he's doing.
Yes, well, we're here.
And entering in, you can see in the far back of the cavern is Brother Isumiyan, who seems to be kind of like leaning pretty heavily on his staff, and sitting next to him is Chisume.
Oh, we approach, but not too eagerly, guys.
Yes.
We totally remember she was here. I'm embarrassed.
It's okay. A lot happened.
Yeah.
As you approach, strangely enough, Chisume doesn't immediately jump up like she normally does.
She's mad at us.
And as you approach, Isumiyan sort of looks at the few pupils that are in front of him, kind of looks over at you all, and before looking at them and just kind of nodding and telling them to take 10. And as you approach Delger,
Yes.
looking at Chisume, there's something off. She always jumps up and runs to Star, and she doesn't look angry. Just something about this whole thing, about her not moving, is weird. But Isumiyan looks at all of you and says, well, I assume since you're all still alive, things went well at the lab.
Yeah.
They did.
Well enough.
What's wrong with Chisume? That girl will just say aloud.
Sorry about that. And he snaps his fingers, and you watch as she immediately just kind of like loosens and slackens a bit. and she shakes herself off before jumping up and like throwing herself at Star and wrapping her arms around her.
Oh,
And Isumiyan says, she was very rambunctious, and it's hard to teach class when she doesn't sit still.
Leave
Yeah,
the door.
sorry that we didn't mean to leave you to babysit as well.
yeah.
It's okay. And as he says that, you watch as like she tilts her head back slightly, and you Star can see she's giving him a hard hate stare. She does not like him at all.
Ooh.
And he says,
Ooh.
she was difficult, but we came to a compromise. But I'm glad to see you are all safe, which I assume means the seats here is also safe, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
That's
I'm
good.
glad to see you okay and with us still.
Well, I am still a little sore. And he sort of straightens himself a little bit, and you can hear the bones cracking as he straightens his
Oh.
back. He's like, it's difficult to move still, but
Are you sure you
I'll
should
manage.
be teaching classes, let alone standing up right now?
I'll manage.
You
the,
should be resting.
the Kyurgens said the same thing. I'll be fine. I
Then you
promise.
should listen. Find my ass.
I know standing still probably isn't the best thing that you don't want to be standing still, but
Looking him over, he does appear to still have several points of exhaustion. But other than that, he seems okay. He doesn't seem like he's about to keel over like he did when y'all left him, at the very least. So, but he just sort of rubs his back and says, I get out and stretch enough as it is, as you can. Well, actually, he kind of looks around for a moment. I guess they did finally bugger off. They put some wood whalers here to make sure I didn't do anything too drastic, and kind of waves one hand around in the air a little bit. He says, I guess they finally got tired of me pestering them about the intricacies of Aether and how it flows through everything, that they finally left. Oh, I'll tell you what, you've never been stared at harder than when a wood whaler's just staring at you for hours. Unmoving. It's rather unnerving, really. Honestly, at some points, I thought they were a statue.
I mean, that is the hallmark of a good guard. You should think they're a statue until, well, they're needed.
Very true. But, hopefully, whoever it was that was impersonating seats here was caught, or preferably killed.
Definitely.
captured.
Can we get you something to sit down on?
It's fine, really. I'll take a moment.
No, it is not. You are exhausted. You came back from death and you smirked about it. That wasn't funny.
Yes, most people don't get to cheat death like we forced you to do.
You guys want me to just knock him out?
No!
Oh.
I
I don't-
Probably would make it worse.
And you all hear from behind you a soft female voice say, "If it is a chair he needs, then perhaps his receptionist should be the one to get him it." Finally, you all turn around, and you can see it's the receptionist with a chair in a hand, staring at Isumiyan with this very intense, like, "I told you so," like 500 times. He just kind of looks over at her and goes, "Fine, fine. I'll sit down." And he just kind of rolls his eyes as she walks over and places it like right behind him and like shoves it under him to kind of like force him to sit down. Kind of. Anyways, I'm truly glad to see you are all right. Speaking of which, who was the traitor?
Hmm?
Oh,
The one impersonating the Sitsu.
Oh,
Inacian.
yeah.
Oh, I thought we were done with him.
Nope.
Afraid
No.
not.
It wasn't Fandaniel, was it?
No.
No.
I don't know if I'm
Make
relieved
mental
by...
note of
Did
name.
hear that name? Did we hear that name already?
Yes, you have.
Okay.
Fumi told you about briefly mentioned him and his connection with the towers. But he says, you know, I'm not sure if I'm relieved or not about hearing that. Do we know his name by chance? Did you get it?
He seems to be going by La Habrea.
And yes, we've
I'm
heard
sorry,
that's
what?
impossible.
We've heard from the Warrior of Light that that shouldn't be possible.
He sort of puts both his hands in his face in both of his hands, just rubs his face and goes, "Oh God! First more Asians, then towers, and then primals, and then Asians, and now the Asians that were defeated are back. Oh no! I don't understand. Oh, I'm glad I have this chair now." Oh, he leans
See, I
back in
knew
it and
you'd need
goes,
it.
"Oh boy, I definitely would have needed somewhere to sit after that." Oh God.
I mean, there's one other thing that might make it worse.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I'm
He's,
already in the chair.
he's quite fond of Garlemald. To the point
Yeah.
of
Praising
he,
him in his dying breath.
yeah, he really likes Garlemald. I'm not sure why. They're all a bunch of assholes.
Well, we only know of one reason why people are chanting "Glory be to Garlemald," and oh,
Wait, you've heard that phrase too?
unfortunately, yes.
Mhm.
Let's spit it out,
The
man.
scouting parties that we've sent to the towers, of the few that return, all of them are chanting "Glory be to Garlemald." Additionally, from what our scouting reports have found, the beast tribes have had members of their population kidnapped and are being forcefully used to summon primals of their gods. Titan, Ifrit, Garuda, Bahamut. Which, for those that are proficient in history, roll a history check. I know some of you know about Bahamut and what that means, but especially you, Adwin.
It's not proficient, so I'm gonna shut up.
Same.
Is no one proficient with history?
No.
No.
You got anything, Magnus?
Guys.
Oh,
Nope.
ha! I'm proficient in history.
Ah, thank God!
Hey! Alright. So, all of your characters know of the last calamity that befell this that befell this world, and how Garlemald was essentially the ones that kind of started it all. And this calamity nearly destroyed the star. However, many of you are not exactly history students, and, well, you don't really need to know about that kind of thing. But you, Kryn, you know the importance of history and the importance of learning from your mistakes. And as he says that name, Bahamut, you stop and you think for a moment. And then it dawns on you that the last time you remember ever reading about, or ever reading that name, was in conjunction with the last calamity. And specifically, it was Garlemald that brought Bahamut back. A primal that is essentially hailed as the most powerful primal to have ever been summoned. That primal alone, all by itself, nearly brought doom to the star. And it was through the efforts of a brave few party members, as well as many of the world's leaders, such as the Elder Seedseer, the Admiral in Limsa, as well as General Raubon himself, leading an army of the three nations combined against Garlemald. And when Bahamut was summoned, he absolutely devastated the plains, both sides, both Garlean and the side of the Alliance. However, it wasn't until Louis Sois managed to, through an extremely powerful and costly spell, managed to seal Bahamut away, and actually the moon of the planet is where Bahamut sleeps, supposedly. Or no, sorry, that's where he did sleep. Supposedly, he now sleeps within the planet itself, somewhere. He was locked away down there, with Louis Sois acting as his jailer. It was obviously then revealed when Bahamut was freed from his prison that that moon was a fake moon. There is still a moon. It's just the moon that we thought for the longest time was the moon was not. But yeah, that was the last time you heard the name Bahamut, was in conjunction with the calamity, and he nearly brought it. But Isumiyan says, the towers, we don't know too much about them, other than that they somehow force the beastmen to call to their gods and summon them. These towers, however, unlike a normal summon, those that are enthralled by these primals are not enthralled to the primals. they're enthralled to Garlemald itself, the country. It's it's almost like, I mean, comparing it to what a primal is, it's almost like the country of Garlemald has become a primal, which I don't know how that would even be possible. I can't even begin to speculate. I don't think that is actually what happened. It's just that's the closest comparison that I can make. We don't truly understand it. I mean, we are investigating it to the best of our ability, but anything and anyone we send there, if they don't possess the echo, just become tempered.
Hmm.
I mean, we have a cure for the tempering now. Thankfully, it's not easy, but we can cure it. Some of it, anyway. So, sometimes the tempering has simply gone too far, and we can't cleanse the corrupted aether, but these temperings just, they're happening at a rate that we just can't cure. And on top of that, it's not just our troops that are being enthralled, it's their own as well. These, I don't fully understand what's happening in Garlemald right now, but whatever they're doing, they do not care about their troops at all. I mean, arguably they didn't really care before, but now it's very blatant. They're treating them like fodder, like cattle. Sort of looks at all of you for a moment and you have the blessing, right? Nice. Some of you.
Yes.
Most of
Yes.
us, in some way or another, as everyone kind of just looks away, just
Then
like, mm.
I have no reason to hide this from you. We're looking at quite possibly the final days of this star.
What?
What relevance does the blessing of light have to that?
Little, truth be told. This is just not information that I would willingly give out to just anyone, though.
Ah, so then it won't bother you
Asians,
that I possess no such gift.
the Asians have been working towards this for well before any of us were ever even a speck in creation. I don't understand everything about them. I don't know exactly why they're doing this, but Fandaniel, the Asian I mentioned earlier, is not like most. There's a key difference between La Habrea, for example, and Fandaniel. I'll try to keep it brief, but you can think of them as you can think of Fandaniel as a subspecies of Asian, whereas La Habrea was what you might call a pure Asian. Fandaniel is something of a small piece of an Asian. He's not really. He is an Asian, but he's not a whole Asian. The point is they have been working very long for the destruction of this star, as well as many others, and they're coming very close to it. And we aren't sure exactly what's coming. But Xenos, the one who's presumably leading Garlemald right now, as well as Fandaniel, want nothing but destruction. Fandaniel wants the destruction of the star as well as himself. Strangely enough, I don't quite understand, but Xenos, we do not understand what his motives are, what he is aiming for. At one moment, he's wanting to conquer, and then the next, he just wants to destroy, and then the next, he wants something completely different. He never has any goal or clear goal or strategy. He, for lack of a better word, doesn't seem to really care what happens. It's almost like he's just along for the ride, and he's perfectly content with that. From what I can gather, he seems to revel in fighting with the Warrior of Light. It seems like that's all he wants to do, but he doesn't want to just do it. He seems to... Maybe he's waiting for something. I don't know. But everything they are doing, we don't understand how they're doing it, why they're doing it, or what their goal is, what they're aiming for. We stop their plans left, right, and center, and yet they seem unfazed, or if they are phased, very little by our interference. We don't understand what the Guardians are doing. We don't. I'm sorry.
No, it's not like, I mean, how could we be upset that you don't know? It seems like not even the greatest military minds of this country know what they truly want.
On the bright side, we are making more allies. It's not just the three alliances anymore. It's not just Uldai and us and Limsa. It's not just Ishgard. We finally managed to broker peace with the Beast tribes.
That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and additionally, we're in talks with the total eradication of the summonings. No more primals. If we could come together with this and understand the nature of all this, maybe we might be able to understand how to stop the tempering altogether. Honestly, I will never admit this openly. And honestly, if you ever mention this anywhere else, I will outright deny it and denounce you for it.
Shit.
But I must admit, I've been growing a little desperate lately. The lengths that Garlemald is going, it's... I'm worried the Warrior of Light might not be enough this time. She is powerful. I will never question her strength. Far more powerful than I could ever imagine. She's done things that I've never even thought possible. But I don't want to ask her this, but if we just understood the Echo better, if we knew why it shielded her from the primals, maybe we could use that to create a spell that would give that same shielding to others. I don't even know where we would begin. We know that Garlemald has been experimenting with this. We know Garlemald has replicated the echo almost perfectly. But we don't understand how. We know it's a dangerous and we know it's a traumatic experience for those that undergo it, and thankfully most don't survive the process, and from our intel, Xenos seems very uncaring about that kind of research, doesn't seem to care for it at all. And in fact, he seems to have just kind of halted all progress in that area, which is good for us, because we don't really need more people with the Echo running around, working for Garlemald. But those of us that are working with the Warrior of Light on this, and those of us that are working closely with our top military, we are afraid that the final days are upon us. And I will admit, you have all helped us simply too much for this to be kept from you all. You brought us Raubon back. He's... Without him, honestly, without any one of our leaders, our chances of winning this war drop significantly. So the fact that you all brought him back, they may not have expressed it already, but there is nothing we could do to express how grateful we are to all of you for this.
Sorry.
We've made a cure for the tempering. We're in talks with the beast tribes for peace and an end to the summoning. And what's more, this affliction that almost took one of our greatest military leaders from us has a way to negate it. I'll admit, it does give me hope, each of these small victories. And the Warrior of Light is too precious to us. It's another reason why I wouldn't ever ask her that, but sort of looks to all of you. He says, I don't know where we would even begin. If we could understand the echo, if we could figure out why it shields you and the Warrior of Light from the tempering of primals.
Could we help you learn more about it?
I don't know. That's the issue. Because we do not know how the Guardians did it, and because the Guardians just... We know how they injected it anyways into the... And that process is not something that I nor anyone else is willing to do. It's something about the echo that guards you from their tempering. We know that the tempering is a corruption of aether. We know that. We can cure that by rebalancing a tempered person's aether, but we know that some tempered are just too far gone. Some that have been tempered for too long, their aether is too corrupted and we can't bring them back. That's about as much as we know. I will say, the Allegans did an enormous amount of research on this, but those that would be able to give us access to those records don't, for good reason, don't really want to do their kind of research. Their research is very similar to the Guardians in how they did it. They cared very little for the life of those they experimented on. That and a lot of their records are either gone or corrupted and otherwise inaccessible. We would need someone that's an expert in aether, in the study of aether. And unfortunately, a lot of them are Charlayan, and well, they've made it abundantly clear that they have absolutely no interest in helping us at all.
The scholars who know everything in the world don't want to help the end of the world, or don't want to help stave off the end of the world.
They claim that, in their words, if the final days were upon us, they would know.
They do realize that omniscience is a paradox, right?
It is not that they have omniscience. For all of their ego, they hold records that were otherwise destroyed. They have records from times long past, times that no one else has any record of. Their Charlea, for all it's worth, is legitimately the best source of information for anything.
Yes, but my point still stands. They give off the impression that they think they actually know everything, which...
Maybe they do. We might be jumping the gun. As I said, we don't actually know if this is the final days. It's just what we fear from everything we can see. From everything we can see, the final days are upon us. They refuse to enlighten us as to any information. I will grant that, which doesn't really help us. If this really isn't the final days, it would be nice to have some actual confirmation, but
we should treat it as such until we know.
Unfortunately. Say again?
Delgro was just sort of saying we should treat it as such, at least with how we're going to act with this.
Nods. They should, but they are a very secretive bunch, unfortunately. Alas, there isn't much any of you can do. I'll just say that plainly. There's not anything any of you can do. We have people who have direct ties with Charlotte, with them, and we are in talks with them. We're trying everything we can, but until we have any kind of actual concrete information, I would take this with a grain of salt. Again, we do not actually know if this is the final days. It's just what we fear. And paranoia can lead to otherwise outlandish thoughts. So, if any of you are truly her chosen, you deserve to know.
Coming. I think they'll really sort of look at everyone. I think if you can get in contact with someone to teleport us to Limsa, please do, because I think it's time we're looking for these towers, at least after we handle the current business.
He nods.
What about the forest, though?
That current business, including that.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, I'm attuned to Limsa. I can take everybody there.
Do you have teleportation circle?
The spell?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's how Star is doing it.
Yeah, that's how I've been getting to the very few places we've been.
Well, see, I thought we just, like, had, like, the teleport spells and whatnot.
No. So
No.
the etherical teleportation and teleport are two different things.
Okay.
Etherical teleportation and the return are more like features that everyone has. And they have like that's why they have a cooldown instead of being a spell slot. Whereas teleportation circle and teleport will just take you to that aetherite if you choose that, or teleport will just take you, wherever you want if you use that. Teleportation circle, the sigils, air quotes, are the aetherite crystals for all intents and purposes, as far as the
Okay.
mechanics are concerned. That's why when she teleports all of you, you appear right next to the aetherite crystal. Because that's where it takes you. So,
Again, I kind of just figured that's how the teleport stuff works. The ethereal
No.
teleport.
yeah. No. Unfortunately, I'd say maybe Rakshana might have been there at one point, and might have it, but that would probably be the only other party member that would reasonably have that aetherite crystal. So you would still have the other three that you would have to account for.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I wouldn't be.
Another
So we
4, I
wouldn't be
think.
able to take
Or
everybody
7
there.
changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, get us someone who can take us to Limsa, so we can at least, once we have the project done, we could get these one faster. But yeah, time we start working with those towers.
Wait, say that again? Sorry. Just the last part. I got the Limsa part. I heard something about the towers.
That way we can get to the towers faster afterwards. At least while our project's being built.
Oh, so you want the towers you're just so I'm aware out of character. The towers you're talking about are the ones that he was talking about. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify.
Go there, get the airship going. We go to the towers after handling everything.
Okay.
We can teleport there once the time is up. On the build.
Are you just so I know? Are you mentioning all this to the party out loud?
Yes, that's what I've been saying. I've been talking to them.
All right.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure because the NPCs there and.
But if we go to the tower, then I mean,
If
you
I
wouldn't.
might interject, these towers are where these primals are being summoned at. You understand this, yes?
Yes.
You're also forgetting something kind of important, Delger. I don't have your gift.
These two would get tempered.
I'm all for heroics, but I'm not for going into something that is going to get me controlled by whatever the hell is in there. So perhaps consider those around you before you just start making plans.
Yeah, I was about to say
Or
something
maybe
too,
I
'cause
asked.
I can't.
Or maybe I just look at him and goes, "Can you tell us how to cure the tempering, if in case it happens?"
Well, it's a rather difficult spell, and I wouldn't be able to teach you it. I don't personally know it.
We have casters.
The individuals who do know it, I could try to contact them, but I'm not entirely sure what they are doing at the moment.
I don't expect to be able to cast. Just our casters here
Um,
might be able to do something about that.
Right, but also I don't. I will admit, I don't exactly know what would happen if you cured their tempering while still within the vicinity of one of the towers. I'm not sure if they would just remain untempered or if the tower would attempt to temper them again, just so you're aware.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's from the sounds of it. It sounds like it's not a if it happens; it's a when it happens.
Yeah, and I'm not looking to get tempered by one of those primals.
I
Additionally, we
think.
don't know much about the tower itself. As far as we know, the radius of the tempering also isn't just within the tower. We're pretty sure it extends out from the tower, but we're not entirely sure. Again, most of the scouting parties that got there, even the ones that we cured, don't really remember anything other than just being overwhelmed with the compulsion to serve Garlemald. Um, don't get me
My fear
wrong.
is we cross the border and I become tempered.
Don't get me wrong. I do appreciate the thought. Um, just keep in mind that this is something that even the Warrior of Light is hesitant to approach. So, these towers are dangerous beyond anything we've ever seen before.
We have been listening to people tell us how dangerous things are constantly from the
Yeah.
moment we begin venturing, and we're still here. Just give us the details.
There aren't
You're not
many.
listening to me,
There aren't many
Delder.
details to be given.
Let me. Okay,
I'm
Rakshan, I will. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not stepping into that field unless I know I can't be tempered. I
That's
don't
really
care if you think you have a cure. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter. It sounds like it's not something that we can rely on.
Hey,
Not an
hey.
A
immunity.
hero, a hero that is tempered by something evil is as good as a villain. Now, like I said, I'm all for heroics, but I don't really particularly like you assuming that I'm going to do what you say just because you say it.
Maybe I'm not
Sure,
assuming.
will.
Maybe I'm just trying to work ahead of plan. I'm trying to work, still working out stuff in my mind. I'm not saying we
Sure, will
rush in,
Hang on.
things
Star's trying to say
blazing.
something. Go ahead, Star.
Yeah.
start take Rakshan's hands and let's give them a pat. I hear you. We're not going anywhere near there if you're not comfortable. We're not going to push in somewhere and hope whatever they have works if Roxas isn't comfy with it.
We're gonna
We
say
can
this. I'm
figure
with
this out,
Rakshan.
but we need to figure something else.
Yes.
Tell-
And if we leave Rox and Kryn behind to just all go in, that's leaving a lot of firepower out, and that's not a good idea either.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I think we leave the towers to the people who know how to handle it.
Or
I'm just
until we
saying a
have.
cure isn't an immunity.
No, it
Indeed.
isn't.
So until we figure out either how to help you gain the light or have a more reliable way of making sure you are not tempered, we're not going in there.
And if you would, don't jump on me and let me wait until I could say things that best left for private conversations. I might include things concerning stuff like that.
All right. Well, so Yusumiyan says, "Well, again, I do appreciate the thought. It really does help. Um, the immediate threat has been taken care of, which is good. And you didn't come here to listen to me preach about doom and gloom. You came for her, and as he says that, she has sort of, at this point, she's transitioned herself to kind of be like standing in front of Star with Star's hands like kind of wrapped around her, and she's just kind of like hard staring directly at him, and presumably has been this entire time.
Oh,
And he just goes, I can't necessarily say I blame her for that, but I wouldn't have had to do
so
that if you had just stayed still for a little bit.
what was your compromise, by the way?
It wasn't really a compromise that she wanted. I used the spell to hold her still, and she did not like that, obviously. Um, but in my defense, I asked her for like 3 hours to calm down, and
Did she understand you? She doesn't speak fluid common.
ah, I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
people in charge.
Sorry, we didn't meant. We had very little time to actually introduce everyone to her.
Well, admittedly, I guess I could have tried that. Didn't really occur to me to try that. Well, either way.
She speaks like fluent primal.
Mm-hmm.
Strangely enough, I do not.
Ah,
Didn't know Primal spoke.
yeah, they do that. It's,
Interesting. Well, I mean, I knew they spoke. I just didn't know they had their own language.
yeah, we're working on the common. We'll explain to her later that you didn't mean to make her upset.
He nods. Well, I think I'm gonna go and see if I can find the seats here. Make sure she's doing okay. He pushes himself up using his staff and begins to hobble out.
When he's gone, Doug will look at Roxana. I was going to also suggest, alongside the cure, we go to the lab, see if there's anything that might protect anyone who needs it.
I can't hear you very well, Josh.
Delger will look at Roxana and he will go, I was waiting until we could talk alone to mention the fact that I was also going to suggest going to the lab to see if there's anything that would protect anyone who needs it. That was waiting until he was gone to mention the lab.
I'm not sure we should mess with the things in that lab more than we have.
Yeah, I'm sure the only thing that we would run into there to help us would be Arnalder, and right now I really don't want to keep messing with him.
It was the fun.
And to be fair, I think anything that would help would be, well, involved with primals, and we've got our hands full with enough primals already.
There.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
She looks to Adwin and pokes her nose. Wasn't talking about you.
Well,
I was talking about the other primals that we are going to inevitably have to deal with.
Well, let's get going.
Yeah.
a trek to the creepy forest.
Yep.
Woo!
Star will link shell up with Fumi, or at least try to link shell with Fumi
Oh
on
yeah,
the way back.
we should actually have her pick up La Habrea before we go.
Are
Yeah.
you walking back to the farm, or are you going to teleport back?
I think if we walked back, it would be too long because it's like a several-hour trip to
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cardania by cart.
Yeah.
We can teleport and then call while walking through the woods or to the woods, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Should we get our cart?
Oh, where is that?
Quarry Bill.
Oh,
You do have the Aetheryte for it,
we do.
so you could
Uh,
teleport there.
We should get it at some point soon, but
I think this is our second day.
Yes.
I
And
think
if
we
I
only paid
remember,
for 3
yeah.
because we paid in case day because we do shit like this.
We should grab
yeah.
the cart and go back to Quinn's that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, teleporting to Quarry Mill, which is easy enough. You go to the stable where you can see the rest of your small chocobo flock, as well as your cart, in pristine condition. Well, as pristine as you left it, anyways. Checking over it, it does not appear to be missing anything. In fact, your food, the food that you have for your chocobos, is still the exact same amount that you had before. The farmhand that you had met first, you do not see. However, you do see what appears to be a small female Ellison child brushing one of the smaller chocobos.
Oh.
Turns to you. Oh, hello.
Hi, sweetheart. We came to get our cart. Who was around before? I don't think we got his name.
You did not. Goes, oh, well, okay. Well, just tell me whose name it's under and I can go and look it up for you.
It's probably under Astaria.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go look it up.
Slight spark.
She nods and runs off.
Oh, where's the hands from? Okay.
That's what I was basically alluding to with her. So
She comes back a few moments later with the tall, very rotund man who has a large ledger under his one arm, and like a large mug that has like some ale sloshing around in it as he walks. He gets over and pulls it out and sets it down on one of the gate, or bounces the book on one of the gates, starts flipping through. He goes, "Staria Slight Spark, yeah? I remember you.
Mm-hmm.
Gave that one boy a right scare, you did."
He's
Here
still
it is.
working.
Oh yes. He requested today and tomorrow off though. Kind of strange. Oh, I see why.
He knew I was gonna quiz him.
Seems like he was afraid of you coming back. I see your name right here. All right. And he sort of not really leans down, but kind of bends over slightly and lowers the book more towards the girl and points towards your name as well as the small list of things below it. And she nods and begins sort of rushing around collecting things. And it takes her a little bit because she's so small and she can really only carry one thing at a time.
Oh.
But she's trying her best.
Should we give her a hand?
If you want to give her a hand, sure. I just let her know that this is your stuff and that you're free to take it. She the first time she ever done this though.
Let's go give her a hand.
Yeah, let's go get
Agreed.
her hand.
Mhm.
All right. You help her get everything ready, which speeds it up significantly to the point where it does not take an hour, like it would have. And you gather your cart together, and as she does, she pats one of them on the leg. I don't remember any of their names myself. However, she.
You can check in my character under bio treasures.
Okay. However, she, as she pats it
You're
on the
welcome.
leg,
Are your treasures?
as she pats it on the leg, she says, "And you be good this time, Choco Brain."
Choco brain.
Ooh, is someone acting up?
She nods. She was being feisty. She didn't
Oh.
want to take her bath.
Well, Madam Swift, let's go.
Looking at it, this would be Andromeda.
I thought we left those two back at the barn and took the other ones.
Wasn't this? Well, no, because you would have have all your
No,
chocos
two, you're
for
right.
for the cart. So, but yeah.
Star stares at Andromeda and smiles.
All right, so
I didn't realize you didn't like your baths.
sort of shakes her feathers.
Alright, Sassy, let's go.
All right, you all head off from the south shroud to the eastern shroud. Nope,
So that's
Nope.
to
to
Central,
the
right?
central shroud. I know my way around this map. I swear, I've been playing since the alpha. Shut up.
Mm,
But
yeah.
coming up, it does take you a few hours to get back, but you do come back. As you are coming back, you're wanting to contact Famiri, however. So, what are you wanting to say?
Hey, do you have time to quickly meet up with us? We forgot to give you something.
There's a moment of pause before you hear, "Is it urgent?"
A little.
I would say so.
Give me 10 minutes and I'll be in Gridania.
We're in the Central Shroud.
I will meet you in Bent Branch Meadow then.
Yeah, Central Shroud.
All right. So,
Sure.
making your stop over there. By the time you get there, she's already there. She's just kind of like hands in her pockets, kind of leaning against the aetheryte a little bit. As you approach, she kind of tilts her head up and says, "Ah, what was it that you forgot?"
Well, and Edwin's gonna nod her head to Star.
Yeah. So, we're not exactly sure what to do with you know who and the crystal we have them trapped in.
Is it white auracite?
No.
That's unfortunate.
I only have empty aether crystals on me.
Let's see. I have some connections that I can, hang on. She says, "I have some connections. Do you mind if I have the crystal?"
Yeah, that's what I
Please.
was hoping. She'll go into the bag of holding and carefully remove
Yep.
it.
Pulling it out, you hand it over. She kind of looks at it for a moment and goes, I will admit, I'm impressed.
Thank you.
It's not easy to do this. So, she
I just shrugs.
she tucks it away in one of her own bags and says, "I'll make sure that we figure out what to do with this. Um,
Mm,
Thank you for bringing it to my attention. Is there anything else?"
yes. Star will kind of move in closer and lower her voice. When you were. Mm, we have no code words for this, guys. We need code words.
Unfortunate.
What was that one word we had before for Poplamo?
I have no idea.
No clue.
You had it written down, Josh. Something about the desert rose blooms.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, the desert rose
Mm.
blooms. I did the Poplamo thing. Just I didn't remember the Poplamo bit.
I think you mean Pippin.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
But then
Pippin.
my
That's
brain's
why.
dying.
That's
yeah.
why.
Oh
My
yeah,
brain
yeah,
To
is
be fair,
slowly
they're
dying.
both
yeah. It's
Lalafels. Their names
They're
yeah.
both
both
start with
They're
Lalas
very
P.
with
close. Yeah.
yeah.
Papa Limo, Pippin, Pippin Limo. I
the
mean,
papa.
They're
the
both
fanfic is
midgets.
wild. But yes, what about Pippin?
I was just looking for. I feel
Yep, you got it right. The desert rose
we
blooms.
need
Yeah.
words for this stuff.
Wait, you were cutting out for me. Say that again.
Yes.
Oh, I just feel like we need better words to refer to the Sultana, especially as she's not where she should be.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Pain in the ass.
when in hiding with Star will look to Delger and snap her fingers for a second. When in hiding with um the Desert Rose, were you around when she received our calls?
She nods. What do you ask? You don't think someone's trying to impersonate her, do you?
I told her of um the good news with Ralbon, and she did not seem to care at all.
Ah, um, we were going into a very important mission, or very important meeting with the Beast Tribes.
Mm.
She was more than likely trying to keep her focus. I would imagine.
Hmm. I hope so.
Me too. Me too.
I hope so too. Otherwise, I've been guarding the wrong person this whole time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It just seemed strange. We were given a connection to her, but she also left behind a a clue as to where to find her, and these two seem strange to have.
Well,
Well, it was not her choice to do so. I asked her to.
hmm
I needed to make sure that should you have need of either of us, you'd at least have a clue as to where we would be.
But to also leave a direct line?
That was her choice. I still don't
Fair.
understand that myself.
Mm. Well, that comes my worries then.
Admittedly, she doesn't always wear her link shell, so surprisingly, you've managed to actually get her every time. But
Yeah.
either way, if there's nothing else,
Nothing more.
Just give her our well wishes, and well,
she nods.
we'll
And hope
let
for
you.
her safe return. City needs her.
Of course. And she teleports away. So, you continue on to Quinn's house. And upon arriving, you find Quinn on his way out to the farm carrying what looks like a long stick that's like draped over his back with two large buckets on either side of them, sloshing something around in them. You're not entirely sure what. At this point, it's pretty late. Probably getting close to like late afternoon, I would say. Late afternoon, early night. Quinn's kind of looking over towards you as he hears the cart. He kind of stops and reaches up one hand and just kind of waves to all of you.
Hey, we're back.
Going fishing?
Oh no, I'm just bringing this out to the barn.
Is that to get more of that chocobo milk?
Oh no,
Oh,
this is...
okay.
What?
Oh, sorry. Just I realized how to picture it now.
Oh. He says,
Oh,
oh,
go.
no. These are to fill up the water.
Oh,
And then I'll use the buckets in the morning to get the milk.
Silly guys, you could have asked me that.
I was kind of wanting to see what excuse you come up with this time to hide something from us. That is Delver joking.
He carries on, though, into the barn with his buckets.
Force tonight or force tomorrow?
What do you guys think?
Time is weird in there. I figured may as well just go now.
How's everybody's ability to see in the dark?
I don't have the ability to see in the dark.
I mean, do remember that the trees
Yes,
above
humans don't
do
have
have
dark
their own
vision.
little sparkles.
He reaches down not down, reaches up over whatever and gently pats Star's head. Can't remember what I've never seen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
The
all right.
overbrush. It's full of these weird little nuts and their own little stars. It's very beautiful.
About what time is it?
I'd say probably getting close to about 6:30, 7 o'clock.
All this magical gear above us, not one watch.
Plus, we ought to teach Ma and Pa some primals, so maybe they can watch Chisumi and be able to communicate a bit.
Fine by me.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right. So
Mm.
morning it is. Going inside and resting up. You have your dinner, etc., etc. Unless there's anything else you wish to do, we can skip straight to the morning.
Yeah, I don't have anything in particular.
Anyone?
I'm
Unless
good.
we can do like training towards feet stuff at night,
Yeah.
but probably not, right?
Well, I mean, you can. You just have to keep in mind you do need a long rest. You can't train through the night, and you can't keep
Testing.
watch. Hello, welcome back. Ryan.
Yeah.
You can't keep watch
I've
and train
been
at the same time. So.
I've been
Uh-huh.
able to hear you guys, but I guess you guys haven't been able to hear me. I want to
Oh,
make just about 15 more bullets just in case. I am running a little on the shy side.
okay. Go ahead and give me a Tinker's Tools check. 29, easy enough to make them.
I guess if I can, then I'm gonna do a little bit of training towards my sorcery point thing.
Alrighty.
Hmm.
Actually, you know what? Dogger has something. Dogger, look at everyone. It's been sort of high stress. Everyone's sort of had a rough time. I offer a free chance at sparring and the fact that to be able to take basically free shots at me if anyone wants to, just wants to let anything out.
Tempting, but I want to. I want to train up my magical ability a little bit.
There.
Hmm.
Alright. Anything from Rakshana?
Uh. Hmm. Good
Turn myself
question.
on.
Could I start training towards the fighting initiate feat?
Okay. Got it. Alrighty.
Yeah, I just want more sorcery points.
Alright. Since no one's interested in sparring, Dogger will just continue training to improve his con.
Alrighty. Anything from you,
I
Storm?
will continue lessons of common slash primal because I'd rather just learn it if it's easier.
Okay. Alrighty.
With aid from our friend who can speak fluent.
Yes.
Yeah, just shout out
Fluent.
different primal words while I'm practicing magic.
He's literally just saying all of the incantations for his spells in primal.
Watch out, you're gonna teach your blue mage spells.
Yes.
Jeez, imagine how terrifying that would be if you were playing a warlock.
Oh, it'll be great.
Oh, yes. Alright. So,
Okay, Chisume, this is how you cast Fireball.
you just do that. Next thing you see her just fucking fire one from her mouth. Just kapah!
Ah!
Star would have a heart attack.
Like, oh god.
If you keep it in your mouth for a minute or so, you can do even more damage.
Explodes in her mouth.
Delayed.
Tasty. A little,
Delayed
little on the spicy side.
Fireball.
A little on the spicy side. But yes, so each of you taking your time to train for heading down for the or bunking down for the bed tonight. Next morning, you awaken once more to some more delicious food and not Shui Eyes cooking. Thankfully, it seems
Exactly.
that Quinn has kicked her out of the kitchen, probably for good. He seems to have grown tired of.
Yeah, I wonder what she does.
Yeah, it seems he has grown tired of
Surprise
mud and
dinner.
chocobo greens. So, but yes,
Yeah, with raspberry jam.
yes. So
Reminds me of the
breakfast time.
first scene of Food Wars.
Oh,
I
boy.
couldn't watch that show past the first episode. It was too much.
Yeah.
So, you all
Dogger, We'll
Go ahead.
approach Star in the morning. Let's keep going.
No, I was literally about to just say go ahead.
Yeah.
So
You okay? You okay, Mara? Okay. I think you may be cutting out, but I'm trying.
cutting out a little bit on my end.
Mm-hmm.
Star?
I'm sorry, Mara, but you're lighting up, and I don't think we're.
Yeah, we're not hearing
There's
you at
something.
all. You're lighting up, but we can't hear you.
Hello?
Oh,
There we go.
hello.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi, we can hear you
Hey.
now.
Hello.
Yay!
There we go.
Hi.
Wow. Hi.
There you guys are.
Yay. Continue.
All right. No, we'll just approach Star and I just want to say this. We'll never really find that forest. Yes, you may have always been a chocobo, but you never knew it. But that didn't stop you from becoming the person you are, chocobo or not.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's very sweet.
Gotta make up
Thing
for
won't-
all the niceness you do for this word.
The only thing that guy is going to be eating after today is his own ashes.
All right.
I'm not sure he could eat his own ashes, but I could make him eat concussive force. If...
So,
Close enough. Point at Rexcon.
that works for me.
And that was it for Delta.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you all gather your things and begin to head towards the forest, did you want to go and try and bribe those chocobos before you go in?
Ooh.
Right, yes, we wanted info from them, didn't we? I mean, I feel like we
Yes,
all forgot anyway, so maybe it's
Mhm.
best left to
It's
leave
up to you.
them.
If you want to just
Yep.
go in, you can.
I'm gonna
We
We'll
all
do
lead
forgot.
them. I'm pretty
Alright.
damn sure my babies are in there.
Alrighty. So,
Agreed.
approaching the
Oh,
forest.
before we do ration here, should we take a break? Get water, snacks?
Oh, yes. Yes. I was
No,
actually about to say that.
good call.
Wow.
We
I was going to
predicted that
say,
with Star.
well, I know what she was going to say. So, as you approach,
My body, water.
yes. As you approach, we're going to take I'm going to say, 10-minute break to get
Okay.
water, bathroom, food, all that good jazz.
Soundest good.
We will come back,
Oh.
and we will.
Stop recording during break.
I'm not. Okay, so I'm pausing the recording. This is what I'm going to call it due to the internet outages with Bell and everything else. I'd have probably, yeah, I'd have probably called it at the start of a fight, anyways, depending on where you guys actually ended up fighting. So, with that being said, we're just going to real quick get through the 3 questions, and I'll have post your 3 questions in here. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, none of that. None of that. That's not a valid excuse anymore. Yeah. So we're just gonna go right down the list, starting with Josh. All right. Next up, Kryn. It's fair. Getting close? Yeah. All right, Rakshana. True. Well, okay. Well, fair enough. You don't like the Garleans? You don't like that they're involved in everything? They are. Yeah, right.
My backup character was a Garlean Arcanist.
Wait.
Have a way to.
No, hold up. I'm about to be real upset. Wait.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
In general,
in my defense, I hadn't met Xenos yet.
true.
so I don't
Bastard.
know how much my desktop audio stopped getting recorded. I don't know what was going on, but apparently my desktop audio, it was getting recorded during the session. I know that. I could see it going up. But I was watching it just now and nothing was like OBS wasn't even recognizing um the odd, like it wasn't recognizing that y'all were even talking. So
Oh.
it is now.
Hmm.
So I don't know when that happened, but well. Anyways, Edwin, anything else?
Oh, I didn't even do mine.
Okay, well, get going.
Liked, yeah, that there was a little bit of discourse. That's kind of interesting. You know, that's cool. It's fun. Disliked. I said dislike. My girlfriend just says Magnus.
Oh my god.
No. Disliked. I mean, I guess just hearing. I mean, she just. I mean, Edwin hears it's gonna be the end of days, and then is told that like, there's really not much that we can do to help any way to do that. To like
Mostly
stop it.
because, like, we as players don't really know anything about the towers.
Right.
Like, all we know is that when you get close to them, if you don't have the echo, you get tempered.
Right.
So,
Looking forward to going in the forest, beating up the fucking thing that ate Star. Yeah.
man,
And honestly, as just an out of character thing, excited to see if we can fucking do something about Kryn being a fucking primal.
wouldn't it be wild if y'all got in there and just I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna leave it. It's a thought that I have in mind anyways, so I'm gonna leave it. Anything else from you? Edwin?
That's it.
Okay. What about you, Magnus? I think I skipped your what you're looking forward to. Magnus?
What I'm looking forward to, kicking some primal ass.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say, I loved everything. Um, I didn't like that we didn't get to go to the map this time. I'm gonna be honest. Uh, you know what? 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 I'm just gonna bring you over here. Just gonna bring you all over here, so you get
It's
to
a
see
lot
it.
of.
Well, you at least get to see it. And that box, that's where you all will be able to place your tokens wherever you wish.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's I liked. I'm not just gonna say I liked everything like everyone else because that's not what the question is. What I liked about
I said something specific.
I know.
Too.
Adwin didn't though. Adwin was like,
I did.
I liked the session. Like
I said I liked the discourse because I thought that was cool.
It was. It was. I liked it. It was dope. Um, but I I love the discourse. The discourse was nice.
Love lore dumping.
Yeah, I admittedly I don't. I hate lore dumping because I get caught up in it, and then I honestly I say too much, and I'm like shit. Well, now they know. Fuck. um, that's my fault. You know. I'm not gonna take it. I'm not gonna be like that's gonna get retconned. No, no, that's not.
If you made Aidwin's great how many great grandfather?
It was like, here's the thing: there are too many greats to list. Like he
Yeah.
is beyond. Like he's pre-Allegan.
Well, I thought he was after the Allegans because they got their stuff from the Allegans.
No, there were. I'm gonna stop the recording.